The first thing you drop when you get busy is usually content. And your first thought might be to hire somebody to do it for you, but today I'm going to show you how to replace that entire team with AI. And you'll go from one Monday morning dictation to having 16 posts across 5 platforms by noon. This is the exact system I use to post across all my social medias, and I'm giving it to you today so you can see it. Let's get into it. Unless you're a content creator or you get most of your leads through marketing, most entrepreneurs just end up dropping content when their business gets busy with clients. But since content is a long game, it's often never seen as something to stick with. However, this exact thinking is a trap. Content is about consistency, and you'll never get anywhere if you're not consistent with your content, and it'll never provide you the leads. So here's what I do to make my content consistent across multiple social media platforms. Firstly, every Monday morning, my AI agent goes out and does a social engine research for me, and it provides me with this report. It gathers things from YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, some SEO stuff, and I even have it look at a whole bunch of different creators that I pre-selected for me on all of those platforms. From there, it creates a questionnaire for me to fill in. So it gives me the viral seed, the feeds that it will go to, and some questions to answer, and I answer each and every one of these questions so it can go create content from it. From there, it goes and creates drafts for me to review, edit how I like them. So a draft would be something like this. This one's for LinkedIn. It lays it out for me. I can edit this and get it ready to post. And finally, I'm able to tell my AI agent to go schedule all of the posts for the entire week through apps like Zernio and Buffer that connects directly to the social media accounts that I have and use it to schedule them. You can create all this for yourself, and I'm going to show you how. You're going to start with the social engine research because the easiest way to create good content is to see what other people are posting and add your opinion to it. We're starting with research because a lot of viral content is a great source of ideas for you to copy from. It shows you what's trending right now, which ideas did well, which ideas didn't do so well, and what the biggest creators in your space are talking about. So you're going to want your Claude Code to do a whole bunch of research on a lot of different things. So I've got a 6-step mechanism that you can follow for researching the right way. Firstly, you want to search one theme translated in each platform's native language. So the queries all chase the same theme. So AI systems for businesses was mine, but you want to phrase it however, for whatever content you want to be putting out. And then you can allow AI to phrase it correctly per platform. For example, AI systems for businesses might translate best into automate your business with AI on YouTube, but on TikTok or Instagram, it's a hashtag AI automation. And for Twitter, it's what founders are saying this week about AI agents. So all 3 of those different things are searched differently per platform. Step 2 in the mechanism is 2 sourcing models per platform. So one, we have the open search, like I just said, but we also have a watch list of specific creators in our space, creating content that we know is going to be of what we want to create our content from. So we have our open search of the different phrases we want, but we'll have our research go over the creators' past 7 days of content and scrape all of their ideas as well. Number 3 is the outlier formula. This is the heart of finding good ideas. We're looking for the engagement divided by the author's follower count. So if somebody with 100 followers gets 1,000 views, that's a 10 times viewer engagement. And so we're looking for it being as high as possible there. We can do this for the creators as well, because most likely they'll also have outliers. Number 4 is optional, depending on your budget. Every ground per platform has a hard cap. The top 40 items are kept. We're only doing 15 YouTube API calls. We're trying to keep this short and consistent, and if you're using any paid researching tools, to not go over your budget. Step 5 is the synthesis agent. This is an Opus agent that reads over all 7 pools of sub-agents, and it writes 2 files for us. First, the report with each section laid out, so we know what was found where, and then a questionnaire for us to answer questions about the content. Each question is anchored to a specific viral seed, so we know what to look at and what to reference, and it allows us to go into the section that's going to come up later of actually being able to talk through content for about half an hour and have a whole bunch of posts ready to go. And finally, step 6 in the mechanism is my philosophy behind it. The research decides what's worth talking about from the viral outliers, and the dictation supplies the words. So the dictation, you talking into your microphone, tells AI how to actually write from your actual words. It's never going to write your opinions for you. It's going to find the questions for you and then you answer them. So there's no AI slop writing. And here's the prompt that you can use to build the research agent for you. I want a weekly content research system in this workspace. So create a plan for building it, but don't build anything yet. So you can take the plan and edit it however you like. Usually you should plan first before any Claude builds, just so you can actually make sure it's correct. But continuing with the prompt, here's how it should work. Every Monday morning on a schedule, it researches what performed on social media in the past 7 days around my niche. And then in these little brackets, I'm just going to put describe your niche, but you would need to fill this in. It should check YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit using free or cheap APIs, and should phrase the searches in a way each platform actually works. Search terms for YouTube, hashtags for TikTok and Instagram. If you want to add Twitter or SEO, you can add it here. Just add a similar, just add it to the end of this list right here after Reddit. Score every post it finds by engagement divided by the author's follower count, so we surface ideas that carried themselves, not big accounts being big. Also, keep a watch list of specific creators in my niche and flag any post that beats the creator's own average. Each source should fail soft. If one API is down, report it and keep going with the rest. So this line just saying, don't get stuck and keep retrying, just fail and let me know. Because we don't want this going on for an hour, it should take 30 minutes max. Then have an AI agent read all the research and write me 2 files, a ranked report of the best outliers and a questionnaire of 8 to 10 questions based on them. Each question tied to a specific viral post with a blank spot for my answer. I'll answer those by talking and my answers become the raw material for the week's content. The system should never write opinions for me. Give me the plan, the scripts, the schedule, the API and their costs, and what you need from me to start. And then this one is optional if you don't have a list of creators. Please also research a list of creators from my niche that we should track. You can pause the video or the links in the description to copy and paste them. But this should start you with a plan for Claude Code to create. You can work with it and implement it, and it should create your research agent ready to go. Next up is filling in that questionnaire yourself and then creating a skill to repurpose all of the words you said into 16 different posts for an entire week. I got another mechanism for you. It's 5 steps this time for the researcher, and it'll explain why it's working how it is. Firstly, your input is the answered questionnaire verbatim. You dictate all of your answers to the questions, and it's essentially creating the entire content input that the repurposer runs on, so Claude can't author anything itself. The system can, however, reorder, trim, format your spoken words. It's never going to add opinions or arguments or phrasings you didn't say. And if an answer is thin, it'll mark it as a missed beat and come back to you as a follow-up question. The second part of the mechanism is a voice profile, gets every draft. The drafts pass through my voice skill that I built through a large subset of my real writing and speech. I simply did that by asking Claude to go through all of my Fathom transcripts, look at all my previous newsletters and posts, and kind of just create a skill that talks like me. You can do this as well. You probably should do this before creating this skill, but it's not necessary, and I will include something in the prompt that tells you how. The third part of this mechanism is that one answer can fan out to many pieces. So one question can go to TikTok, Instagram, and LinkedIn as 3 separate pieces if one of the questions is a super content-rich question. So we're only choosing the strongest answers for all the questions and appropriately placing them in the right spots. Our fourth part of the mechanism is targets and not quotas. So I have a weekly grid of 7 TikToks, 4 LinkedIn posts, and 5 notes. And those 3 actually spread out to more than just the 3 platforms, because I can use TikTok Shorts on Instagram and YouTube Shorts. I can use my 5 notes on Twitter and Substack, and usually LinkedIn stays the same. It's the ceiling to aim at, but since we can fan it out, those numbers become what we need to meet rather than needing to hit 16 different questions. And our fifth part of the mechanism is that everything lands as a draft and doesn't get auto-approved. The drafting is the longest part. It's the hardest part is actually writing it, but since we use the questionnaire to turn it into drafts, we get 16 outputs for us to read over, edit a little bit, and say, okay, I'm happy with this. Again, that gets us something like this, where I can show you all my examples. We have the viral seed up here, where I can go click to this post and see what it's talking about. We have the feeds here, so it's a talking head TikTok, LinkedIn attraction post, which is a type of post that I liked. You can research your own LinkedIn style posts or posts per whatever platform, and a Substack note. Then it's the questions, a little spot for me to answer, and then this would be blank with you ready to answer it whenever you need to. This one created 10 different questions. Some will ask you more, some will ask you less. Answering them all will allow it to create all the content you need. For the prompts for this one, however, it's another long one, so pause the video and gather what you need, but here it is. Now I want the second half, a repurposing system. Create a plan for it, and don't build anything yet. So another plan. Also, you can do this in the same chat that you did before, if your context bar is still low enough, but carrying it on. It starts from the answered questionnaire the research system made, my spoken answers transcribed. Number one rule, it shapes my words and never writes its own. It can reorder, trim, and format what I said, but it never adds an opinion or a sentence I didn't say. If an answer is too thin for a piece, it asks me for follow-up questions instead of padding. And then this was that rule that I was saying earlier. If you don't have a voice skill, you can simply add only use the words I typed / spoke unless absolutely necessary. You don't have to do all caps. I just did it to point it out. You can add this line or a line like it, essentially saying only use the words that I typed unless necessary to fill in and make the sentence understandable. Continuing on with the prompts though, each answer should fan out into pieces for my platforms. And so then you would put your platforms in there, wherever you want to post. You don't have to do all of them, you can do some of them. For example, short videos for TikTok, text posts for LinkedIn, and notes for my Substack / Twitter actually. Every platform gets its own native format from a rulebook file that we'll write. Never the same text pasted in 3 places. For talking head videos, give me 3 to 5 interview questions to answer on camera, not a script to read. Give it weekly targets per platform, but treat them as ceilings, not quotas. Fewer answers just means fewer pieces. Never AI invented filler. Every piece lands as a draft file with a status field. Nothing schedules or posts until I flip it to approved. Build in that gate structurally. The publishing side should be physically unable to touch a draft unless I approve it. Also plan a voice profile file built from samples of my real writing that every draft gets checked against. Give me the plan, the file structure, the rulebook, the approval flow, and what writing samples you need from me. And so here's the whole prompt. I'm going to add a little bit at the end here, just in case you haven't done the rulebook research or the voice thing. If my social media rulebook and voice skills have not been implemented, please do some research on how to create those as well and create additional plans for building those. And so that'll just tell AI to go find what I mean by that. You might ask follow-up questions and it'll create plans for implementing them as well. Quickly scroll through it again so you can grab it. But this will essentially create a repurposer skill where I can simply type content repurpose or questionnaire repurpose into my Claude, and it will give me a draft like this one where I can come in, edit something that I don't like, and review it, make it ready for posting. But once you have everything ready, all the drafts edited and they're ready to go, all 16 of them for each week, the next step would actually be posting them to each platform. And instead of actually doing it by hand, we've got another set of tools to do it for you. It definitely would take some time to actually schedule 16 posts across all platforms, but there are tools for giving your AI a specific connection and having all of your social media platforms schedule posts for you through that tool. You can tell AI, go schedule all my posts. It'll go through the connection and schedule them to each individual platform. I personally use tools like Buffer and Zernio for different platforms. I don't want to pay for them, and I get enough. You get 2 free on Zernio, and you get 3 free accounts on Buffer. So if you want to do all 5 accounts, you can spread them out like that. What these essentially do is you can come into them and create a new post manually They have connected apps, AI providers, and a bunch of other stuff on API keys, such that I can essentially give my API key over to Claude and have Claude do it for me. And so if you want to use Zernio, sign up for a Zernio account, you go to Connections tab and you go to New Connection, set up your profiles, just log in, then go to API key, create a new one, copy it, and give it to Claude. Buffer is similar. A connect channel here, you go to my organization, API, and copy the API key and give it to Claude as well. But once you have both of that, or either of those, you can come back to Claude and give it this prompt to set that up for you. I'm going to say Zernio as an example. I use Zernio to post to TikTok and Instagram. Here is the website link. And I'm just going to paste a link in there. Read the docs and build me a skill for scheduling my posts. It should handle the whole flow, uploading a video or image, then create the post as a draft, schedule it or publish it, and it should default to draft so nothing goes live unless I explicitly say publish or schedule. Include a quick connection check I can run to confirm my API key and accounts actually work, and note any free tier limits that I should know about. Set it up so that in the future I can just say schedule this video to TikTok for Thursday at 9 a.m. and you handle the rest. And Zernio is a Z. But with this one, Claude will go to Zernio.com. It will find the API documentation that it needs to understand it. It will read the docs, set up the skill for you, check the connection for you, and set up the skill so that you can just say, schedule this post for 9 a.m. Thursday on TikTok or Instagram. And with that, you can go through Claude Code and give it literally that exact prompt. Schedule the ABC draft to Instagram for Friday at 12:30 p.m. And this will take whatever draft that's named like this, schedule it to Instagram for the specific time. With that, you have all three pieces to go create 16 plus pieces of content per week, all in half a day's time. Let's talk quickly about the value math for a second here. If you're behind on content, stop posting content, whatever, and you don't have the time to do it yourself, you're probably going to go look up a marketing agency to do content for you. However, they're going to essentially be doing the same thing that AI is doing right now. They're going to ask you a whole bunch of questions, try to get you to write maybe a newsletter or blog or some other form of long form written content. And they're going to take that content and waterfall it down into all these different posts. And we're essentially having AI do the same thing for a fraction of the cost. Say the marketing agency costs $1,000 to $3,000 a month, depending on what you can afford or however much they decide to charge. And they're posting, one post across every social media a day, or whatever the right amount is supposed to be. Now, for AI, the research costs me, $4 a run once a week from the Appify token, or maybe it's $0 a week, depending on all the tools that I end up finding from that plan. And so research, $0. The repurposer is fully something you build on your machine, so another $0. And the posting, if you're doing 5 different platforms, you can use Buffer and Zernio together. If you're doing 3, you can use Buffer, or 2, Zernio, and ride on the free plan for forever, essentially, and still $0. So with this AI system, the only cost you're really doing is the however much per month you're spending on Claude Code or Codex, which for most people, the $20 a month plan will work for you. So $1,000 to $3,000 versus, $20, $25, maybe $100 per month. You can do the math in your head. It's really not that hard math. You're saving thousands of dollars every month just simply asking Claude Code to do what your content marketers are doing for you. And since content is that long game, say it takes 6 months to a year of posting consistent content to really gain a following that you engage with and you're actually getting leads from. Over 6 months at $1,000, that's $6,000 that you're spending for this with a marketing agency on the low end. Versus if it's, call it the $20 a month for 6 months, that's $120 versus $6,000. And you can see the money savings that you're actually getting back are very substantial. So if you have the time to go spend building this in about maybe 1 day to get it done, depending on how dedicated you are, you're immediately going to be saving $1,000 to $3,000 every month. Every prompt that I gave you in this video will be in the description for you. So if you don't want to copy and paste them from the video, you can just go to the prompt. All you got to do is copy and paste them into Claude Code or Codex, and you'll have this system built today. And if this was useful, please subscribe. I post every Tuesday and Friday with regular AI videos. Next week, I'll break down another piece of the business that AI can run for you. Tell me in the comments, when did your business last post something, and what could AI handle for you? Thanks for watching.